The technique is to recite each one of the nama 108 times and memorize it and contemplate on the internal meaning again and again till you get the next verse. That way the internalization will be very effective and you will be really able to appreciate the concepts discussed more clearly. God bless. Sadaशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्. वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम्. Now let us delve into the importance of Devi worship or Ambal worship. We have seen the images of Kali and also Shodasi, Kameshwari sitting in the lap of Kameshwara, or Kali standing on the corpse of Shiva. What do these represent? These figures in a symbolic manner represents the highest mode of worship prescribed by Sri Vidya, that is Kundalini Yoga. Kundalini is a force, is a great spiritual force that exists in us, that is represented by the Shiva. Shakti is Kundalini herself. Represented by Kali or Shodasi as either sitting or standing. It is not external but it is internal. You should treat them, it is inside Shiva, it is inside Kameshwara, both. The whole significance of this worship is converting the reproductive energy inside us in the form of Kamagni into spiritual fire called Chittagni by making the consciousness of the sadhaka more and more mature, by uplifting his consciousness from one center to the other center progressively, thus making him realize his ultimate potential of reaching emancipation or Sahasrara. Thus we find Dasamahavidya. What is Dasamahavidya? Now I will tell you, Dasamahavidya, the internal representation of Dasamahavidya is a combination of Samhara Shakti and Anugraha Shakti. Samhara Shakti and Anugraha Shakti should be brought inside us. It is not external to us. Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada, Matsara. These are the 6 Shaktis or Asura Shaktis which we have to do samhara. That is represented by 6 Kalikula Devatas, okay, or first Devatas, because they represent the form of destroying, and their Phala mantras or why they are worshipped is for this purpose, but people do it more externally rather than internally. So the significance is lost in today. And the 4 Anugraha Shaktis, because unless we destroy this Asura Shaktis inside, Anugraha Shakti cannot happen. Or we have to go on lessening the impact of this Asura Shaktis inside us. Then only the Anugraha Shakti can be more pronounced. It can expand itself inside us. These 4 Anugraha Shaktis are Viveka, Vairagya, Shadga Sampatti and Mumukshatva. Thus we will see this 10 Dasamahavidya represents the qualifications required by each individual to ultimately reach the divine state. If these 10 Shaktis are worshipped and 6 destruction and 4 constructions happen in us, then the Kundalini wakens up and travels progressively and reaches its ultimate goal. This is the whole gist of Sri Vidya. Now, in today's world, we see lot of destructions happening everywhere. We see the abuse of nature. We see the calamities happening everywhere, and we are seeing the repercussions the nature is bringing because of the abuse by the humans. You would have noticed whatever is great in the world, whether it is our country or anything, if it is to be represented, it is represented as a she and not a he. Thus, femininity is a very, very important aspect of a human being. The femininity is the internal Kundalini Shakti in the human being. For this purpose, femininity, external or internal, doesn't bother. External femininity is a different thing, internal femininity is a different thing. However, all the femininity of the world, external also, represents 4 aspects. One as a child, innocence, as an innocent child, then as a fully blown youngster, young girl, then as a married woman, then as a mother. So progressively, from step by step, it reaches the ultimate. The ultimate sacrifice of womanhood is in becoming a mother, where she risks her life and carries a baby or a second life. And so motherhood, the world mother also is a great person for this purpose. And every woman has to be worshipped because of this quality in her. Only she can do that. Now coming back, such Anugraha Shakti of Devi, why it turns so powerful or unbearable to us? It is because we are deviating from the path. That is the reason. These signals are warning to make us travel back into the path, or to make us travel into the path again. You will see in Trichy, Akhilandeshwari, the fierce Akhilandeshwari, in front of it, Shankaracharya sanctified a beautiful Ganesha in a big form. And in various Devi temples, almost all in the north and in south also, many of them, many old temples, Shankaracharya is said to have sanctified a Sri Chakra and attracted the kalas of the Devi and put it on the Sri Chakra. What does that mean? All along we have been thinking that Sri Chakra is something external and Ganesha is something external. Okay. Ganesha and Sri Chakra here represents us humans, who is the child of the Prakriti, world mother, universal mother. And if we tread in the correct path, that is, in the case of Ganesha, there are two margas. Ganesha represents one marga and Sri Chakra represents the other marga. Ganesha represents the Veda marga and Sri Chakra represents the Shakti marga. Well, let us not delve deep into those aspects. It is enough if we know that she becomes pacified when she sees child, not a physical child as people think. It is because when we follow the Veda Marga, definitely we are not deviating the path, and so she remains calm. In the same way, Sri Chakra is just a representation of internal Kundalini Shakti. Anybody who has seen the depth of Sri Chakra or its centers should know this aspect. Okay, Sri Chakra is no different from us. The chakras represents each one of our conscious centers. So that way we are only represented in Sri Chakra, we in a initiated form. Okay, we in dormant form is not a Sri Chakra. We in a initiated form, when we cross the 6 chakras and reach the Sahasrara, that is the representation of Sri Chakra, and that is what the great Devi is satisfied about when it is placed there. Her whole countenance becomes peaceful from the great anger displayed by her. Now, that is the reason in today's world also things are happening, because we are deviating from the path of Dharma, and that is why the reason all these calamities are happening. If we purify ourselves internally, the external gets purified automatically, and such violent reactions can be brought to an end. Both these examples I have given is a very significant one, and I would like each one of you to delve deeper and deeper into this concept and think about it, so you will clearly understand what will make the world safer again for us to live. In this regard, now I would like to start the first or the final, whichever way you look at it, the essence of Devi worship in a Grantha form called Lalitha Sahasranamam. Many people know this in India, many, especially in southern parts, it is very well known. It is being recited by many. But yeah, it has its own power when recited, but it will have much more power when with realization it is recited, with realization of its internal meaning, and with that particular bhava it is recited, because it is the essence of Sri Vidya, and this is a stepping stone. One has to qualify before reaching the epitome of Devi worship, that is Saundarya Lahari. In both this, see, that is why in Lalita, the last nama comes as Shiva Shakti Aikyam, and the first nama of Saundarya starts with Shiva Shakti Aikyam. Shiva Shakti Aikyam is nothing but, as I told you, Kundalini reaching its final Sahasrara birth in a human being. So, it is not external one person Aikyam into another. It is us Aikyaming into our internal Devi. We should make her active and make her reach Sahasrara. That is the whole aspect. Now, I am planning to start giving the internal insight of each verse of Sri Vidya or each verse of Lalitha Sahasranama. The external meaning will be given to you also, and the internal insight will be given to you. And I am also planning to give Anvaya, which is not found in the books, so that you will be, the ultimate aim of this whole exercise is for you to appreciate the internal insight of each of these namas. So you will be able to more and more appreciate the depth of Lalita Sahasranama and ultimately reach the goal of Shakti worship. This I am starting now to a cream set of friends as a sharing. I request you to be very serious because you are all very, very selected people, and I have full faith in each one of you in giving the maximum importance to these verses, and in first thing is to internalize them in your heart. That is the main reason why I am giving the internal meaning, even though it may not strike you at the first instant. If you go on meditating on it, from the external meaning you will definitely arrive at the internal insight, which is also given to you at one time or other. Please do not lose hope. You will definitely reach the insight, even though it is given. You may not be able to immediately relate sometimes. Okay. And the whole exercise, what I would like you to do is, I will give you a trick for making it intelligent, or making you realize the essence of these insights. Each one of the namas, if you recite 108 times with full faith, and then approach the meanings, external meanings, and then contemplate on the internal meanings, then there are more chances of your succeeding in the process of understanding this namas. Let Devi's grace be on you. Om, Om, Om.